Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shah. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, Ba'ashem Rekakadash. Double honors to the elders, pushing the truth in Israel. Peace to the brethren and the elect worldwide. Now, this is an exhortation to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, those Israelites who's trying to put faith in Yahweh Shah, who they ignorantly call Jesus Christ, and keep his commandments and be obedient to the scriptures. And so in the time that we living in, it's all about who do you trust, okay? And nowadays we seeing the prophecies of Revelation 13. We seeing that play major part in what's going on in our society. But let's go to Revelation 13 and 15, because this is going to be the key. And this is, it's all about trust. So when you go to Revelation 13 and 15, it say, and he had power to give life unto the beast. And it says, no, he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. And so this image of the beast, and see, another thing too is the worship part. Now when people talk about worship, they think about going to church, singing, praising, and praying, and bowing down. You see, that's what they think about. But it's not about bowing down and praying. That's not what the word is talking about. That word goes into admiration. That word goes into respect. See, honor. You see, and trust. Because when you respect and honor something and have a love and an admiration for it, you trust it. Now, let's go into how we know that these people is trusting the situation. Because this verse also go to 2 Thessalonians. It goes with 2 Thessalonians, let's see here. No, 1 Thessalonians. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5. Now it says, I'm going to start at verse 2. Mind you, Yahweh Shah, who they even call Jesus Christ, is talking about when his second coming. This is the second coming, because in chapter 4, which when they was originally written, it didn't have any chapters and it didn't have any verses. He just was writing letters. He was writing to the brethren, to his fellow Israelites. And so chapter 4, it talks about what it say in verse 16. It talks about the Lord shall descend from heaven. So this is talking about his second coming, when he come to save his people. So in chapter 5 it say, but of the times and the season, brethren, meaning family, Israelites, you have no need that I write unto you. Okay? And then he say, for yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. Okay, now we finna get to it. Verse 3 it say, for when they shall say, who shall say? when the Israelites shall say, peace and safety. Okay, so who's gonna give the Israelites peace and safety before the end of the world, or during the end of the world? Mind you, all hell is breaking loose. It's a great tribulation, as he says in Matthew 24. It's a great tribulation happening. So who is giving the Israelites peace and security during close to the second coming in the last days? Who is giving the Israelites peace and security? Because mind you, only a remnant is going to be saved. Only 1/3 is going to be saved. So 2/3. Who is giving the 2/3 peace and security? You see, that's the whole situation. And he says, this is 1 Thessalonians 5:3, for when they shall say, it's gonna happen, peace and safety, then shall destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. You see, this beast, or this image of the beast, is gonna bring peace and safety. They're gonna be saying, we have peace and safety over here. You come with us, you're gonna be at peace. You come with us, you're gonna be safe. You see? And so that's the worship is gonna go into that. When you trust this beast and you think he gonna be able to give you safety, because that goes along with let me get lamentation. That goes along with lamentation. Lamentation, let's see here. Salakia. The rain ain't stopping this one. Lamentations chapter 4 verse 17. It says, Salakia. It said, as for us, our eyes as yet, or you say, as for us, our eyes as yet felt for our vain help. See, that they start talking about help, because that's what the peace and security gonna come from. Them wanting help from this beast, from this devil. And they gonna go to him to try to be safe and be peaceful. But the Lamentations 4 and 17 say, as for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching we have watched for a nation that could not save us. See, they don't even know what they've been saved from. That's the main thing. You're not being saved from the so-called white man. You're not being saved from the devil. You being saved from the Most High. See, that's what they don't understand. He's bringing the destruction. He's bringing the judgment on the wicked. So you being saved from not being destroyed right along with the 2/3 and the other wicked that's running the world, these Edomites. Because the Lord is coming to destroy all the wicked and put the wicked into captivity. So you being saved from him when he come with fire. See, that's what they don't understand. They gonna be worried about starving and worried about all kind of other stuff, but that ain't what they need to be worried about, because that's not what they need to be saved from. Okay, now let's get let me get Ezekiel, because Ezekiel breaks it down on who bringing the destruction and what you need to be saved from. Ezekiel chapter 3 verse 17, it say, I'm gonna start at verse 11. Go get you to them of the captivity, unto the children of your people, and speak unto them, and tell them, thus saith the Lord God, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. So he's not really concerned about the wicked closing their ears or walking by and saying, what they talking about? Or there they go again. He's not concerned about that. In verse 17, it's going to break it down for you. It says, Son of man, I have made you a watchman unto the house of Israel. Therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. See, that's the whole purpose. It's a warning from the Most High. It's not trying to convince somebody that they finna die and trying to convince them to change their mind so they can not die. You see, you trying to convince somebody not to blow their brains out. You see, so that no, it's not about that. You gonna warn them and tell them. Now that in verse 18 gonna break it down some more. It say, this is Ezekiel chapter 3 and 18. When I say unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die. See, the Most High telling the wicked, you finna die. I'm finna put you to death. See, and thou givest him not warning, nor speakest to warn the wicked from his wicked way, to save his life. Now that's what the warning gonna do. The warning gonna say, if they got some sense, they gonna heed the warning. See, they gonna heed the warning, and the warning is gonna save their life. But you not there to do nothing more than a warning. You gonna tell them why they finna die and how they finna die and all that good stuff. But it's not, you not worried about convincing nobody. Because that's why a lot of people shy away from trying to warn people, because they want to say, oh, they not gonna listen, and they not listening. That ain't got nothing to do with the situation. See, it's about the warning. That's the main part of the situation. It's about the warning. Now let me finish. He said, to save his life, say the same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at your hand. So now it's about, if you don't warn these people, the blood is going to be on your hand. Now it's bigger than just, you warning these people so they cannot die. It's about you. See, because he gonna break it down in verse 19. He say, yet if thou warn the wicked, and he turn not from his wickedness, nor from his wicked way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. You see, and it ain't, see, the first, if you just read the first part and say it's gonna be blood on your hands, you're like, okay, blood on my hands. It ain't gonna affect me. I can put the blood on my hands. That's why 19 broke it down. It ain't the blood on your hand, meaning you got to pay for that blood. And 19 letting you know that you won't be delivered if you do not warn these Israelites, these 2/3 Negro, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, and if you don't warn all of the wicked, these heathen, because he gonna give them a warning too before he destroy them. Because a lot of them is going into slavery, but the majority of them is gonna die. Let's get that in Isaiah. The end about in Isaiah, he kept it for the end too. But the vision that the Most High gave Isaiah, at the end of his vision, he showed you the destruction and he showed you the deliverance. The deliverance is right at the end, but the destruction is in there too. Isaiah 66:15, it says, "For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and with his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury, and his rebuke with flames of fire." Verse 16, "For by fire and by his sword would the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many." See, the slain of the Lord. That meaning the Lord is going to kill a lot of people. He's coming to kill. And if you want to be delivered, you got to warn the children of Israel. And see, he gives the spirit for a man to be able to do that. He chooses who he wants to be a watchman, because you're being his watchman. Now, when you go into trust, let's get back to the trust. When you trust in the beast and you have an admiration and respect and honor and love for the beast, see, now you not putting your trust. This is what you're doing. Let me get Jeremiah. Jeremiah.
At the light, turn right onto North Lincoln Street.
This is Jeremiah. Jeremiah 17. But Psalms had a verse I wanted to hit. Psalms had a verse that I wanted to hit, because that verse lets you know what's really going on. Let me try Psalms first. Salakia. Let me get Psalms first, because we dig into that Jeremiah a lot. But this Psalms is a powerful verse. Let's see, Psalm 18. No, not 18. Let's try Psalm 16. Nope. Let's try. Let's try 20. 20. No. 28. 31. That's what I wanted. Psalms 31, Salakia. Psalms 31 verse 6, he say, "I have hated them that regard lying vanities." See? So it ain't just simple as, oh, you need to trust the Most High. Say, if you trust in anything else but the Most High, the Lord hated these people. He say, "I have hated them that regard lying vanities, but I trust in the Lord." Okay? So that goes along with the Apocrypha, in the Apocrypha, where they say, "Never trust thy enemy." It say, let's go to 17. Because when you trust your enemy and you regarding these liars, because that's what that lying vanity going back to. You trust in a liar, man. Certified liar. Everybody know that this person is a liar, and you sit up there trusting him. Why would you trust a liar? That's your enemy. Now, Jeremiah 17:7, it say, "Blessed is the man that trusteth in the Lord, whose hope is in the Lord." Okay, let me jump back up to verse 5. He say, "Thus says the Lord, cursed be the man that trusted in man, and that maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departed from the Lord." Now, if you trust in anything other than the Lord, you done made that your defense. That's why I say, and maketh flesh his arm. You trusting in the flesh. You putting your trust in flesh. Why would you put your trust in flesh? I mean, you don't know what you're talking about. And it say, blessed is the man that trusted in the Lord. So, cursed is the man that trusted in man, and blessed is the man that trusted in Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. See, that's how simple it is. But see, these individuals, they putting their trust in man. Let me get that song, go back to Psalm 25, get a couple of these. Because that's what that worship of the beast is going into. Worshiping the image of the beast. That's what that's going into. You trusting this beast. Now, Psalms 25, verse 2, it say, "Oh my God, I trust in you. Let me not be ashamed. Let not my enemies triumph over me." See, he's saying if he gonna put his trust in the Lord, and his enemies is not gonna win, because he putting the trust in the Lord. All right. Then in verse 20 it say, "Oh, keep my soul and deliver me." This is Psalms 25:20. "Keep my soul and deliver me. Let me not be ashamed, for I put my trust in you." So he almost said the same thing he said in verse 2, that he put his trust in the Lord, and he ain't gonna be ashamed that he put his trust in the Lord. Okay, now I'm gonna jump over to 28, Psalms 28:7. It say, "The Lord is my strength and my shield. My heart trusted in him, and I am helped." See, he's getting his help from the Lord. Okay. And so these people, they don't understand who they should be trusting. Now let me go get Proverbs, because you got these people that's in these churches, and they telling you to trust the enemy. How you the pastor and you telling me to trust the enemy and trust in man when it's a life and death situation, but you not telling me to trust the Lord? You trying to say that the Lord dealing with these men, the Lord sent these men to help you. See, that's what a liar say, and they known to lie. Now Proverbs 3:5, it say, "Trust in the Lord with all your mind." It say, "Lean not upon your own understanding." See, they don't understand. You don't supposed to be leaning on your own understanding. This is something that you're supposed to trust in the Lord and don't lean on what some man's understanding. Oh, well, how I understand it is that the Lord is giving these people the knowledge that they need to do what they doing, and that's bringing you help. Say no, 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 because that's contradicting a lot in the situation. Because it's telling you not to trust your enemy. So you saying this is what these pastors are saying out here. Trust in your enemy, because the Lord gave your enemy the ability to help you. The Lord gave your enemy the ability to save you. That's what they telling them. That's the logic that they bringing. And see, that's why you got Isaiah. Let's go back to Isaiah, because this is what I'm seeing in the community. These peoples is telling the 2/3 man. That's the strong delusion that's going to the 2/3. Trust your enemy; he can save your life. He gonna tell you what you need to know about your health and about your body. Trust your enemy. That's what they're telling them. They ain't saying trust the Lord. Isaiah 56:10. He said his watchmen are blind. Yeah, these pastors are blind. They ain't warning nobody. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark. See, a dog will bark and warn you. That's a smart, educated dog. That's an intelligent dog. That's a dog that's going to warn you not to believe your enemy. He going to warn you that the enemy coming. Sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Verse 11. Yeah, they are greedy dogs, which can never have enough. See, that's all. The only reason they holding that Bible and they trying to gather some people up in a building somewhere that they don't rent it out or under a tent somewhere, because they trying to get some money. They trying to fatten up their pocket. He said they are greedy dogs which can never have enough, and they are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own way, every one for his gain from his quarter. See, these so-called pastors and preachers, they warning people for their own pockets, for filthy lucre's sake. In the New Testament, it talks about you doing this, using the word deceitfully for filthy lucre's sake, for money. See, they're not telling these people that they don't supposed to trust their enemy. See, I don't have to go to the Apocrypha. He say, I hate anybody that's believing a lie. I'm gonna put my trust in the Lord. I'm not dealing with nobody that's a known liar and put my trust in them. See, because that's what the pastors is telling these people. Put your trust in these liars, because let me get that in Job. Let me get that in Job. Job chapter 13 and verse 4. Now, when you go into Job, you talking about the land of the Edomites, the so-called white man. See, because Edom, everything concerning Edom is matching the so-called white man. The eagle and how they build all their buildings. The habitation is high, living in the cliff of the rocks. Everything is identical. Now, you go to Job chapter 13, verse 4, it say, but ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. See, and a physician is almost like a witch doctor. That's why they call them witch doctor. See, you is a witch, you a wizard, and you trying to doctor up some kind of mentality or some kind of elements See, you manipulating elements to try to fool me or make it seem like you somebody important, like you got the answers, like you can be trusted, but you is a forger of lies. And mainly the Edomites is doing this. Other nations help the Edomites, but they don't pretty much operate like these Edomites. Now let's see here. All right, let's see. Let me might as well do another one. So when it come down to it, I might as well get chapter 12, verse 16. He say, which with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. And so, like I was saying earlier, the Most High is giving these 2/3 a strong delusion, and the strong delusion is through these Edomites, because he using them as his sword to punish the wicked. That's why when I was reading that Ezekiel, and Ezekiel was talking about warning the wicked. See, that's who the Most High is using to bring destruction to the rest of the wicked. But he's telling us to warn the Israelites that if you don't get right and do the right thing, be a righteous person, and obey the Most High, you pretty much is gonna die. But this is who he gonna use. That's why he said the deceived and the deceiver is his. Psalm 17 and 13. It say, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is your sword. Verse 14. From the men which are your hands. See, that's what it went back to make in Jeremiah 17 and 5, where he said, don't make flesh your arm, because you can use your arm for a defense and an offense too. Back to Psalm 17 and 14. From men which are your arm, O Lord, from men of the world, which have their portion in this life. Who have their portion in this life? See, who have their blessing in this life? See, the blessing for the Israelite is not in this life, even though they can sell their soul to the devil, but their blessing is not in this life. And so, let's see here. It said, and those whose belly thou fillest with your hid treasure. So that's pretty much the deal. These Edomites is the sword of the Lord, and they're certified to be the enemy of the Israelites. And he telling you in his word not to trust them. So if you disobey his word to trust them, he's going to utilize them as his sword for you being disobedient. And see, that's what these Israelites don't understand. They listening to their rotten pastor that do not want to come out this Bible and tell them that you don't supposed to trust your enemy. You do not supposed to trust your enemy. Let me get that Psalm 31 and 6 again. It say, I have hated them that regard lying vanities. See, lies that don't have no profit. They just lying for no reason, pretty much. Because you ain't gonna profit nobody. He say, but I trust in Yahweh. See, these people wants to regard what these people saying, knowing that they some certified liars. Let me get that in Psalm 58. Trust in a liar. You got to be crazy. Psalm 58 and 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. See, soon as these Edomites is born, they speaking lies. They go astray soon as they come out the womb. They speaking lies. So what in the world is you Israelites, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, why is y'all putting y'all trust in these people and believing what they saying? Because this is the main reason why you shouldn't trust your enemy, because this is what your enemy is doing. Psalm 83, it say, for lo, or for look, your enemies make a tumult. What else your enemies are trying to do? I'm going to jump down to verse 3. It say, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden one. So your enemy is scheming, man. And what are they scheming to do? Verse 4. It say, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation. They trying to destroy you. Your enemy is coming up with all kind of schemes trying to destroy you. You cannot trust your enemy. You can't trust nothing that they saying. Anything come out their mouth, you can't trust it. It's a certified lie. And if it got to do with life and death, you better know you is finished. You trusting your enemy with a life and death situation? Now, if you talking about money, or you trusting them for some, you like this and like that, but you trusting your enemy in a life and death situation, oh man. Now it says in verse 5, it says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. So not just one enemy, all the enemies are confederate against you. So not just the white man, the Arab man, the Indian man, the African man, all of these enemies is consulting together again. What you think they got the United Nations for? What are they doing in the United Nations building? What is they talking about? What is they planning on? Because they not helping nobody. They ain't came to the hood. They ain't dealt with no condition of no nation. So what in the world is they planning? What is they talking about? What is all the consulting that's going on? The consulting is going on talking about the Israelites. How is we going to cut them off from being a nation so our nation can keep going, so we can keep oppressing them, so we can keep using them? See? Now let me get that in Zechariah. Because see, this is what they saying. This is why they going to consult together. Zechariah 11 and 5, it say, whose possessors slay them? Why is the possessors slaying them? But this is not just the so-called white man. The Israelites is in all nations. See? That's why you got a poor community or a slave class in all nations. It say whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. And they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord. See, for I am rich. See, that's why they're trying to consult together to destroy the Israelites, because they want to stay rich. They don't want to be poor. They don't want to be in the hood suffering. They want to stay rich and oppress the Israelites, cut them off from being a nation. Now, when you go into Isaiah 14, let's hit Isaiah 14. 14 and 18, it say, all the kings of the nations, even all of them, lie in glory, every one in his own house. You see, all these other nations, they lying in glory. They got their kingdom. They living richly. That's why they love America, because America is the foundation of oppressing the Israelites. They the foundation of selling the Israelites and saying, I am rich. Bless the Lord. He say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Their own shepherds pity them not. See, their own people ain't gonna fight for them. Their own people is gonna help with the oppression. See, their own people is gonna serve them up. And so that's why these other nations is consulting together in the UN building. That's why they consulting together and any other kind of meeting that they having. And so for pretty much our people to trust these individuals, they done lost their mind. Look like that gave me my life. Yeah, so these individuals, man, they consulting together against the Israelites, and King David talked about this in the 2nd chapter of Psalm. Let's get this in the 2nd chapter of Psalm. They are not to be trusted. Psalms 2 verse 1, they say, why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? Why is the heathen raging? See, what are they so mad about? That if the Israelites is still around, they gonna bring them down and put them into captivity. See, they're not gonna be poor anymore. They got to bring, they're not gonna be rich anymore, Salaki. They got to bring all their riches and gold to the Israelites. See, that's why they hate the Israelites. That's why they're enraged. Verse 2 of Psalms 2. The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together. See? All these kings of the earth is in the UN building taking counsel together. They go into these meetings and meet summits and all this kind of stuff. And the subject is about how is we going to stay rich, man? What can we do to try to make it where these Israelites don't take over? We all in debt. It seems like the Lord trying to save them. UFOs all around. They popping up everywhere. Every day for years. We got to go into warp speed like Trump. Trump said we going into warp speed because these Israelites, man, it look like they finna get the kingdom now. We got to hurry up and do something. I'm going to start over at Psalms 2 and 2. It says, the kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed. See, the Lord always anointed the Israelite. No other people ever was anointed by the Lord. He says, saying, verse 3, let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us. See, not from each other. We don't just want to break them up. No, we got to cast their cords from us, because they got, long as they alive and existing, they gonna be able to put us into captivity, man. They gonna put this cord is gonna connect them to us. Well, they got to be our slave master. You see? But just like he said in verse 4, he that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. See, he laughing at these people, that these enemies, they thinking they gonna be able to do something, and they're not. But he put the spirit on them to try. See, he put the spirit on them to try and to go to war. They don't control themselves. They don't have a free will to say, the Lord laughing at us and we ain't gonna be able to destroy these Israelites. No, they're not gonna say that, man. He put the spirit on them to walk right into that fire. Now Revelation 13:10 it say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. So the saints, everything that was done to the saints, like Celie said on Color Purple, everything that you did to me is gonna be done to you. See, that's exactly what's gonna happen to these other nations. They gonna have to be recompensed from what they did to the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. They gonna have to pay for it. How you say you reap what you sow. They gonna have to pay for everything they sold onto the nation of Israel. You see, they're not gonna get away with it. It's not gonna be turn the other cheek with the Lord. They're not gonna get a ghetto pass. See, the Lord ain't playing with none of that. He gonna give them a ghetto pass. He not giving nobody no ghetto pass. He gonna put them to death. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. And the elite rich, the filthy rich, they going into captivity. See, you not just gonna try to exterminate the Israelites, because that's what it's about. That's why that word genocide flying around everywhere. Because people is trying to commit genocide on the Israelites. And not just peoples. The non-Israelites is trying to commit genocide. And even these coons that digging the garbage can looking for some trash, they'll try to turn in the Israelites. See, they so broke and so desperate, they willing to sell out their own people to the devil. And so all these people's got to pay, man. But let me get that in I want Joel. Joel said it the best. It's rain coming down. Alright, let's see here. Joel. Hosea. Joel. Now, let's go to chapter 3. Chapter 3 of Joel. Verse 2 it say, no, I'm going to start at verse 1. Because this is what the whole situation is about. Joel, the end of his writings was one of the best. Verse 1 it say, behold, in those days, meaning these days, and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. We are in captivity right now. We are the only people on earth that's in captivity. You see? And if you're talking about a nation, the other nations have us in captivity here in Babylon the Great. Verse 2 it say, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Israel. See? Whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Okay. So that's what they did to us when they put us on them slave ships. I'm going to jump to verse 4. He said, yeah, and what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? That's the ones that was selling us to the so-called white men, the Africans and the Arabs. He said, will you render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your head. See, the recompense that he asking them, you gonna try to pay me back for choosing the Israelites. See, is that what you gonna try to do? He say, okay, so your payback, I'm gonna return your payback upon your own head. See, you gonna try to, cause see, that's what they did. They understood who the Israelites was. Now, let's see here. That's the Lord right there. Verse 7. Let's get the recompense again in verse 7. He say, behold, I will raise them up out of the place whether you have sold them, and will return your recompense upon your own head. See, that's what's happening. He's returning the recompense of these other nations upon their own head, and they thinking that they gonna get away with enslaving the Israelites, putting the Israelites into captivity. You go into Amos, the first chapter, it tells you that this Zidon and Tyre and Palestine, or Gaza, it say in Amos, they delivered up the whole captivity. Amos, the first chapter, 6 and 9. They delivered up the whole captivity to Edom. See, that's how we know Edom is the so-called white man, because them the only people that was given a whole nation of peoples was given to them, was delivered to them. They picked them up by the 500s on a ship, 300 on a ship. You see, for 200 to 300 years, they going and picking up slaves from the 1500, 1600, 1700.